particularly enjoy puzzle or escape room games, adult coloring books. It doesn't have to be good art. I literally sometimes scribble on paper and color it in. Did your mom take a lot of Tylenol while you were in utero? I'm just asking for a friend. Uni does the trick, and I get a free degree. I probably don't agree with this. Um, I know plenty of people with degrees that are some of the lowest fucking level thinkers that I've ever encountered. So it's like, wow, you spent all that money to get a degree. We make the same amount of money, and you cannot think through very basic problems. I don't know if that's the trick. I want to be charitable and say that there are also people with degrees that do just fine. But I would not like if I think about this, like if my daughter came to me and she was like, "Hey, Dad, I noticed there are a bunch of people that I'm going to school with, and like some of them are like dumb as dog shit. How do I prevent myself from being like that?" I wouldn't say like you got to go to university. You know what I mean? I would probably touch on like 10 other things before I got to like yeah, and also schooling is super important or something like that. We're on Reddit. We're not derotting our brains. Fuck you. Okay, get out of here. Casual Exchanges podcast, where most of the time we are going to try to walk through thinking about novel, everyday, normie problems. But this is going to be a lot like those super rare coffee beans that they pull out of like elephant shit. Okay, well, sometimes you get those rare coffee beans. Other times it's just a pile of elephant shit. Welcome in. Fucking hate these. You know what that means? Time to crack a Celsius. Time to crack a cold one. I should actually do that. That would probably make this channel at least 15 times more interesting. Is if every time I run into a thread that pisses me off or convinces me that somebody has absolutely no working brain cells, I take a shot. The only problem is I could probably only record for about 20 minutes before I ended up with severe alcohol poisoning. So I do it with energy drinks instead, and then it just kind of increases the risk of heart failure. But I think I have a better chance of living like a little longer if I do it with energy drinks. Hardest part about growing up is realizing your parents were stressed the whole time. They just hit it better. Sure. I don't know if that's the hardest, if I'm being honest. I feel like the hardest things for me was just realizing that uh, if you want to be better, you have to do better, and that's just like you it's self life is self assignment. You can be as good as you want to be. You can be as shitty as you want to be. Um, and unfortunately, there is not there's not always people there to hold you accountable to the things that you say you want or the things you think you want. Right? It's just on you. So it's like if your life ends up sucking, it's like maybe it was some super crazy tragedy where you know a fucking you were really balling out of control and everybody loves you and like all this shit, and then a meteor came and destroyed your house and your fucking dog caught fire, and then fell on like a loaded AR-15 and then just shot everybody, and then it was just this huge tragedy. Or maybe you just are fucking lazy and you haven't put in the work, and that's why your life sucks, which is a tough pill to swallow. How can you explain depression in simple words to somebody who's never experienced it? I wonder how much this varies person to person. And I'm not going to talk about this for a long time because I think it's like super emo, depressing type shit. There are probably good conversations to be had around how to cope and building the support structures required if you do have the kind of predilections, or like the mental susceptibilities towards that kind of stuff. I think there are probably good conversations to be had. What I don't want to do is just go through a thread where everybody's talking about how they're fucking depressed, especially not on Reddit. But back to the prompt. Explaining depression in simple words to somebody who's never experienced it. Imagine, imagine that one day you realize that your favorite things, uh, you no longer look forward to doing them. They feel like a chore. Like almost everything, right? Like sometimes things feel like a chore, but it's because like they kind of are a chore, right? But imagine one day all of a sudden, like your favorite things become a chore, and talking to your favorite people feels like a chore. Um, and they no longer bring you the same joy that they used to, right? Almost like your favorite. Imagine you go to bite into your favorite meal, and it just tastes like some other rando shit. You know what I mean? Like your favorite burger spot. It just doesn't give you any sort of reaction. It's how you would feel if you were biting into like McDonald's. Like you just feel almost nothing. It's just like food. You know what I mean? Yeah, unfortunately, that's been some of my experience with it. Is because I have a couple of things that I like really enjoy to do. Right, like I really enjoy spending time at the range. I really enjoy like when I have time and energy to dedicate towards like my training and stuff like that. Strength training, super fun. I enjoy the entire process. I do it myself. I train myself. Um, I plan out pretty much like my a couple months worth of training. Um, I enjoy like I normally enjoy like learning new things in a couple of different categories of my life. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, there was a point where um, I realized that like I didn't want to work out. Like I didn't look forward to it. And for some of you motherfuckers, if your reaction was like, "Well, nobody likes working out," shut the fuck up. You're actually just stupid as fuck. Because for me, that's something that I absolutely enjoy. It's been an integral part of my life for 10 years. You can ask anybody who knows me. It is something that like I look forward to doing. Even the hardest workouts, even the worst fucking days, the worst training days that fucking borderline kill me. Um, like I walk away, even if my body is fucking crushed and destroyed. Like I fucking limp my ass, I hobble, I crawl, um, like with a smile on my face, just like, oh, that was so fucking awesome, dude. I can't believe I survived that. Like truly, it's something that over the past 10 years, it's been a constant in my life. Um, and there's just this huge return. Obviously, it's good. Like I don't know if it's good for my health the way I go about it. But like overall for like my mentality and my mental framework and keeping myself like grounded and centered and things like that, um, it's huge. And so um, when I realize like, oh my god, like I'm at a place currently with everything going on in my life that I don't look forward to doing this. I actually kind of dread it. I don't want to put forth any sort of energy. I don't want to do any planning. Like I don't want to come out here and work out. Even when I do, like I don't enjoy it. Like I just kind of muddle through. Um, and same thing with other things. I didn't want to. I had like a bunch of social events with people like I for the most part enjoy. I had concerts. I had a bunch of stuff going on that normally I would be super stoked about, and I didn't want to do any of it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go to the concert. I didn't want to be around people. Like I didn't want to go to social gatherings. I didn't want to go spend any time at the range. I didn't want to do new things. Um, it was all just like all of those things that normally bring me a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment and things like that. Um, they all just at some point they I realized that they turned sour in my mouth. Um, and that was for me that was a really big epiphany moment that like hey something's not right here. I need to figure something out because this is unsustainable. This is not how I should be. So something is clearly wrong here. Sorry, that went on for way too fucking long. That was way longer than I thought. Am I the asshole for dumping a guy right after he opened his pants? I'm gonna help our boy out. She was actually so fucking in shock and just struck with fear because this guy's fucking dong was 15 fucking inches long, the size of my fucking arm over here, dude. Um, that she actually shit her pants and ran away crying in fear. That's actually what happened here. I'm gonna help our boy out right here. Why does nobody tell you how expensive being alive is? I'm pretty like my parents like complain about money and thought about money all the time. So I don't know where these people come from that like they just have no idea. You know what I mean? It's like no, everybody was talking about it. It just didn't really apply to you because you didn't have to pay for things, so you didn't pay attention to it. Okay? Like yes, it costs money. Shut the fuck up. Go get a job. How do you get a euphoria feeling without drugs? Why do you need to do it without drugs? No, I'm kidding. I feel like there is like you're probably never gonna match. Unfortunately, I shouldn't even say this. I don't know if you can like chemically match this shit that like drugs do. Right? That's probably why there's like a huge addiction problem. Um, but I do think you should search for the things that kind of give you a little bit of a little bit of that like you know tingle or that really deep laughter in your belly where it hurts. You know what I mean? I feel like it changes and it's always kind of spontaneous. Um, and you just look for the things that most consistently kind of bring you that really good feeling. But like, because sometimes for me, it's like sometimes it's just kicking it with the boys. You know what I mean? And we're all just drinking a cold beer, talking shit, and somebody starts talking shit, and it just goes back and forth, and then we all just end up laughing so hard that our fucking faces hurt. You know what I mean? Um, Sometimes for me, it's after like a really big fucking lift where like I get under the bar and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like 30 minutes ago I was thinking about like, yo, this weight could probably kill me, and then now I'm just like completely dialed and I'm like, no, we're gonna get this shit fucking done. Like the feeling after a big lift is crazy. Like you just feel like you just feel like Atlas, like you could fucking put the world on your back. um and also sometimes it's really simple to be just a complete fucking dad here. Sometimes it's like watching my girlfriend or my daughter interact. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like the interactions they have, or like sometimes the shit that my daughter does. It's like, bro, it's like like never in a million years could I have foreseen like what was about to just happen right here. It's just so fucking funny. Like it's just the most spontaneous thing that brings me laughter. I'm like what the fuck is going on here? Like what? Why is this a thing that's happening? You know what I mean? Um, so I know that's not typically what people think about when they think of like euphoria, but I'm thinking about like moments that just really just feel very happy and light and joyful in almost like a surreal way where it's like, man, this is great. Like when I inevitably eat shit and die and my life flashes before my eyes, I hope I come back to moments like these. You know what I mean? That's what I think about. Oh, what are you doing to de-rot your brain? Hmm. This is actually going to seem is going to seem super counterintuitive. Nothing extra. Um, it's going to seem super counterintuitive, but I'll go through a few things. The first and foremost being this: um, just going through finding things, and eventually maybe I'll start to explore things like outside of Reddit. Um, but just going through, finding a topic, and thinking about it and trying to articulate ideas. I think this actually has the potential um, to make me a better communicator because I even though nobody watches, um, it is still it's still on a public platform for anybody to see. Anybody could see it, so I have to on some level, even though I say stupid shit sometimes, um, I want to make sure that it's not stupid in the wrong way. Like there's like stupid funny, and then there's stupid like completely like brain dead, uninformed. Like a couple of these Reddit threads. Like clearly these people have just not produced a ton of thought throughout their lives. No offense. um, but yeah, I think this actually stands to make me potentially a better communicator, and it definitely for some things. There are some things I go through, and I actually have to think about. I'm like, oh, actually, I haven't thought about this recently. Maybe I need to go through and kind of weigh out and figure out what it actually is that I think about this thing or perspective. Um, so I think this, the whole podcast record type shit is kind of a cool and unique thing. I think also trying to be better about my time management, scheduling things out. I think spending less time, unfortunately, nobody's going to agree with me. Spending less time, or just being more mindful of my time on like social media. My screen time this week has been super low. Just the past couple of weeks, been more busy at work, and then also even in my free time, I'm just trying to do more productive things. I'm trying to. I have a couple of. I have an audiobook I just finished. I have a video series that I'm going through, taking notes on. I'm going to be starting some coursework for accounting, bookkeeping type stuff. I have just trying to fill all of my free time with things that serve me a little bit better rather than like scrolling. And then also on like the social media front, I just feel like it's better for me from a mental standpoint, like a actual thinking standpoint. When I don't have all that stuff, when I am going through and I watch a bunch of YouTube videos, like I'm trying to process a bunch of stuff, um, because normally I am going through. It'll be a combination of information and entertainment, And so after a shitload of YouTube videos or something, I'm going through and I'm processing a bunch of different stuff. And it makes it harder when I go from that to like a task to actually like focus on the task. There's just like more noise rattling around versus if I do it the other way, I go through, I'm doing my tasks and I have tasks lined up and I finish, go into the next one, finish, go into the next one, finish. And then towards the end of my day, if I have like nothing left to do, and then I jump on and scroll and watch or something like that, it's, I feel like it impacts things a little bit less. So yeah, that's what I'm doing to derot my brain. I'm sure Reddit has much more profound things to say about this. Choosing long form content over quick dopamine boosts to reclaim my attention span. Yeah, I wonder if that helps. I do think so. Like long form content, I also wonder what the percentage is of like. Is long form content? No, because I mean there are plenty of podcasts out there that probably are more like entertainment than info, right? Because my thought is like maybe you've just switched over to like long form informational content versus short term entertainment content. Interesting. I wonder if that works. Read books. Yeah, I need to get better about this. I think I finished like 7 books this year, which is great. And also, I know anybody who actually reads or is like well educated or like very smart and successful, they're gonna be like, that's not shit. But you have to keep that in the context of like 7 books this year is more than I finished in the past 5 years put together. Okay, so like cut me some slack. I'm working on it. Next year I'll do better. All right, is the answer. But also, like, what kind of books are you reading? Okay, are you reading the fucking Twilight series for the 12th time? Okay, or are you reading like a business and marketing book? Okay, I feel like we also have to draw that distinction. Might be worth it. Got to second that. If you have a comfortable space for it, reading is definitely one of the best ways to recover from brain rot. Yeah, I think it's a good. It is. I'm just swapping a lot of my stuff over from like I'm trying to minimize the entertainment stuff and I'm trying to maximize like the information stuff, just to pick up on more, learn more, just become more useful, become more effective, and things like that. Boring nerd shit, I know, but that's kind of the way that I'm trying to go about it. Uni does the trick, and I get a free degree. I probably don't agree with this. Um, I know plenty of people with degrees that are some of the lowest fucking level thinkers that I've ever encountered. So it's like, wow, you spent all that money to get a degree. We make the same amount of money, and you cannot think through very basic problems. I don't know if that's the trick. I want to be charitable and say that there are also people with degrees that do just fine. But I would not like if I think about this, like if my daughter came to me and she was like, hey dad, I noticed there are a bunch of people that I'm going to school with and like some of them are like dumb as dog shit. How do I prevent myself from being like that? I wouldn't say like you got to go to university, you know what I mean? I would probably touch on like 10 other things before I got to like, yeah, and also, schooling is super important or something like that. We're on Reddit. We're not derotting our brains. Fuck you, okay? Get out of here. But also, yeah, kind of. Like I wonder. I'm sure somewhere around here there is a pocket in Reddit of very productive individuals and conversations, okay? Try my hardest not to turn to 2 times speed. I wonder why. You can do something about it? Yeah, I think so. Drugs, lots of drugs. I think that's actually the opposite. I would not recommend that. My brother did this and he's no longer in this dimension. Does he mean like he's dead or like border schizophrenic? Like get off social media. Yeah. Or at least be more intentional with it. Live life as before. I do think I'm trying to get better. It's tough right now. So just to get rid of like my bag full of excuses. Yeah, right now I just need to do better with my time and stuff. But I also like I have some friends that like I have to drive like out to, and like our schedules are different, so it's kind of hard to line up. And actually, I feel like a lot of my friends don't have like a normal 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. While I do, they have like alternating shifts or shit like that. So it's like we have to wait for stuff to line up to actually get together. Like in a perfect world, we would just have like lined up schedules and we could get together every weekend and shit like that. But yeah, I think just make an effort to live life, which for me is all about you know, my people, places, things, my relationships, the things I'm doing, the things I'm working towards, you know, kind of where I'm at and where I'm doing them, type things. Just taking them all into consideration, and trying to make sure that I'm working on everything to some extent. You know what I mean? And then obviously there's a whole priority system that needs to be in there too. I set timers. Oh, that's actually kind of a good idea on TikTok or other apps, and don't let myself get back on for a period of time, depending. Good for you. That's actually this actually probably requires some discipline, because I'm sure there are some people who would just like turn off the timer and keep scrolling. But yeah, I actually like that. A couple of things for me: watching video content that is longer and more in depth, that requires attention. Yes, I like. It helps to also take notes. Yeah, almost like you're in class. This is something huge for me. This is something I've been doing with my audiobooks. This is something I do with any sort of informational content. But yes, trying to take notes to make sure I am actually internalizing the information and trying to interpret it. Yes, this helps for me. I have to do this. It's the only way I engage with whatever it is that I'm trying to actually do or listen to. Because if not, I'm going to have the audiobook in my ear, and I'm going to be thinking about, what about this other thing, you know, that's happening over here? Or what would happen, you know, if you put 1,000 pounds of marshmallows inside a rocket ship and then shipped it into the atmosphere and it fucking blew up? Like, would it just be the easiest day to make s'mores ever? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I have to do something to stay engaged. Reading books. More time reading, more time outside, more time being creative. More time outside is probably relatively good. For me, I just supplement it with like walks. Um, like, I don't know, unfortunately or fortunately, I do a lot of shit on the computer. Um, Even with like working and shit like that. And even when I'm not working, I'm either recording shit or taking notes on video series and stuff like that. So like I do a lot of computer shit, and it's like I'm not gonna take my computer outside, because if I'm on like a laptop, I'm gonna hook it up to my whole ass system, so I have multiple monitors and shit like that. I'm just spoiled like that. Um, but I do, yeah. It's good to like get out, go for a walk, do things like take my daughter to the park, kind of stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But I'm not like a super huge like outdoorsy type guy, I guess. More time being creative. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to work on. Just trying to think outside the box a little bit more. Yeah, I vibe with that. I've gotten to the point where video games and movies are healthier for me than being on my phone. Yeah, I'd rather be gaming with the boys, and at least on some level, like we are getting like some social interaction, like we all vibe with it. You know what I mean? Versus like just scrolling. I just get nothing out of it. It feels like reading, of course, but also I download engaging but low stakes games onto my phone, so that when I instinctively reach for my phone, I'm not immediately going to social media. It's tricky to find free ones that are good without tons of shitty ads, but it's worth it. Particularly enjoy puzzle or escape room games, adult coloring books. It doesn't have to be good art. I literally sometimes scribble on paper and color it in. Did your mom take a lot of Tylenol while you were in utero? I'm just asking for a friend. It's just nice to add color where there is none. Creativity in any form is huge. Get outside, even though you're still just doom scrolling. Doing it outdoors is easier on the brain. I wonder if that's true. Audio content that has nothing to do with current events. I like it. Yeah, that's true, man. I gotta get the fuck away from politics. That shit is like cancer on my soul, bro. I like educational or trivia podcasts and audiobooks. Trivia seems kind of cool. Listening to these while I do other things keeps my mind occupied without stressing me out. Interesting. Is there anything more interesting than that? No. Okay. Um, right on. Some of these were actually there were a lot of people saying reading, which just makes me feel very shitty about myself, because I just can't fucking read, bro. Man, it's so fucking difficult. Um, which is it's really kind of funny and ironic, but English was always a class I did really well in. Like throughout school, I feel like I was reading. They told me I was reading at a 12th grade level in like 5th grade. Okay, like my reading and reading comprehension scores were always pretty good. But I fucking hate reading, bro. Like if I'm actually reading a book, it's just so hard to like stay engaged with it. I have to. Even this past book that I read, like an actual like paperback book. Like I had to be taking notes and shit like that. I should have gone through with the highlighter and stuff too, but it just feels weird. It just feels like I'm ruining the book for some reason. Um, but like I have to ingrain these habits to keep me engaged with the book, or else it's just like too easy for me to just like la di da di da. You know what I mean? And that's all, folks. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That way you can talk shit on my next video too, all right?